Hey guys, Braydon Dennis here. Just want to do another episode in Rambling in Real Estate. And today I've got Mike Ratzken with Brothers Realty and Ben Tobias with Fairway Independent Mortgage. Thank you guys for coming out today.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. And we are all in the Scottsdale 2030 philanthropy group here in town, and we raise money for local children's charities. And we've got our big event coming up called Agents Benefiting Children and Brokers for Kids. So brought Ben and Mike here today to kind of talk a little bit about the event and just kind of inform everybody that doesn't know about the event, kind of what it is and what it entails. So Ben, why don't you kick us off for us and kind of tell us a little bit about the history of the event and kind of who we do this for.
Yeah, absolutely. So Scottsdale Active 2030, like you said, is a philanthropy in town. It's a philanthropic group. We raise money for children's charities. This event is our spring event. It's one of my personal favorite events. Now you're chairing the event this year, which is exciting. Hey. Yeah, something that I've done, and I'm really proud to be able to kind of lead the group too, to do something like that. But the event started, this is the 6th year for Agents Benefiting Children, or ABC as we call it for short, but it kind of spun out of a concept that we had for commercial real estate called Brokers for Kids, that event, which is now in its 20th year, which is really cool. Yeah, so it was a model based on, there's a lot of guys in our organization that were in commercial real estate that their companies would contribute, their networks would contribute in certain ways for donations to charity. Came up with the idea of why don't we have our companies more or less compete to see who can raise the most money, and then have like a celebratory event at the end where it'd be like a fun day of like what we call the Olympiad. And that's where everyone kind of gets together. We celebrate the funds that were raised. We obviously honor our charity partners and the work they do. And this is something that started in someone's backyard 20 years ago as the Olympiad. So it's grown, and now it has been a big staple here in town in commercial real estate. 6 years ago, as a group, we talked about, there's a lot of guys in the organization, like the three of us, and different facets of residential real estate. It's, why aren't we doing this with residential real estate too? So just from that idea, it spawned off became Agents Benefiting Children, which is, we took that blueprint model that we had from commercial real estate, and now we put it towards residential real estate. And a lot of different companies in town now participate. I think we had, what was it, you said 32 teams last year?
32 teams last year, yep.
Yeah, so, it went from 8 to 14 to, I think, just over 20, to then we hit 30. Last year we were at 32. So hopefully we continually grow. Everyone that's participated, we only hear good feedback for the most part of people actually get out there, see the Olympiad, and like, wow, how do I want to get involved next year? Maybe they were brought by somebody else this year, didn't really know what they're getting involved in, and it just got bigger and bigger because, more and more companies are involved, and it's a lot of fun. The charities that it benefits, the Care Fund has been our partner since inception of the event.
Yep. On the residential side, right?
Exactly. Yep. For Agents Benefiting Children, Care Fund, really great charity. It benefits families that have children in crisis, whether they are hospitalized for long periods of time. And, when you have a sick child, obviously you're on to spend as much time with them as possible. And that obviously impacts the amount of time you can spend at work. Your household being able to afford the mortgage payment may come down to a point where you may no longer be able to do that to continually work with your child, spend time with your child. So the Care Fund, you can apply to have, I guess you consider it a grant from the Care Fund to support the families of parents that may be out of work due to children with a serious illness. Yep. And they'll cover your mortgage, your rent for so many months and alleviate that stress. And then obviously the last thing you want is something that happened to your home, that when a child gets back from the hospital, if they're still recovering, to be back in their home, they're sleeping in their room, their bed, which is really important for maybe the recovery process too. So the Care Fund, AZ Burn Foundation, which is something we support over years, Scottsdale Boys and Girls Club, we've supported over the years, and they've done a lot of good stuff with us. The Love Up Foundation we've been involved with.
Yep. BFK side is Playworks.
Boys Hope, Girls Hope.
I'm sorry,
so,
Boys Hope, Girls
Hope.
Hope.
So Playworks is obviously a big charity partner of ours. You're right. With an event we just had here in the fall, Night Flight. Yeah. So, but the more money we raise, the more we can give, and the more charities we potentially can give too. In the last couple of years, it's been about 25 charities, give or take, for the amount of charities that the money is raised that benefits. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's basically why we're here today, is to raise money for those local children's charities. And Mike, why don't you kind of talk about the day of, actually? So
yeah, absolutely.
And then once you've kind of talked about the day of, then I'll kind of talk about the fundraising that actually goes into this, and kind of what gets all these teams to come out here.
Definitely. And Ben kind of touched on it a little bit. The day of Olympiad is really a thank you event for all the participants to have a good time out there. It's going to be on April 5th. It's at the Scottsdale Spring Training Stadium for the Giants. Basically,
Really cool venue.
It's a great venue. It's 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Basically, the agents will get there. We'll feed them with lunch and then bring them out to the fields where they'll compete in 4 different games, which include cornhole, bocce ball, basketball shot, and a football toss. And then the winner of the 4 events will play in a dodgeball tournament. This year, we've actually had the ability to add in a home run derby, which is actually outside of the 4 main events, but another way for us to raise some more money for our charity partners.
So that's going to be more of a day of event?
Of course, yep.
So what are we going to be charging for that?
So that one is, there's a few different ways you can get swings for the home run derby. There's basically fundraising goals you can reach where teams will get swings for the day of, or you can buy a ticket. It's 1 for $20 and then 3 for $50.
Awesome. So yeah, that's an event that we added to this year. So we're hoping that's going to bring some more day of funds coming in the door. But now, how do you actually go out and fundraise? So basically, the residential brokerages are going out and fundraising in 3 different ways. So Wright Toyota has been generous enough to donate $20,000 or a Toyota Tacoma, Corolla, or Camry. Mm-hmm. So they've done that every year for this event, which has been an awesome partner of ours. And so the brokerages have the ability to sell raffle tickets for that. And it's 1 for $25 or 5 for $100. And the second way is a lot of these residential teams have created their own individual events. So there has been a cigar event that you did last year, Mike.
We're doing a second one this year.
Doing a second one this year.
Yeah, it was a great event last year.
One of the teams is doing a 5K run. Another team is doing a comedy event. Another team is doing a pool tournament, a golf tournament. You name it. Wine nights. Yeah, any type of event you could think of. That's something that you could definitely be doing as your individual event. And this year we're going to have a little bit more support from the Scottsdale 2030 Club. So each team is actually going to be assigned a club member as well as a liaison. So you're basically going to have 2 points of contact this year as opposed to 1. So we're hoping that's just going to kind of help facilitate your event a little bit easier and kind of take a little bit of the legwork off of your guys' as well. And the third way of fundraising is the day of Olympiad, which Mike talked about, is a great opportunity for vendors to come out and sponsor the event. So it's going to be an opportunity to get in front of anywhere between 500 and 700 real estate agents. So it's a great opportunity to sponsor that event and get in front of those real estate agents. That's pretty much the event. Do you guys want to touch on anything you think we missed? Or
I'm excited for the home run derby this year.
I'm excited for the home run derby.
We play on a baseball field every year, and now we're actually
getting to use the field.
Going to be able to try to and watch how many people think they can hit a home run and really can't. But it should be entertaining.
One thing I just want to touch on: the winner of the fundraising side gets to donate 20% of the gross proceeds to the charity of their choice.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great point. Actually, I had somebody asked me this morning, and so they were a little bit more encouraged to put together a team because of that, because they're like, oh, well, we could actually donate to our personal charity another 20%. That's huge.
What are some companies that participated last year? There's Keller Williams had multiple offices out there.
Keller Williams, My Home Group, EXP. Yep. Russ Lyon.
Stunning Homes.
Two Brothers.
Yeah, Two Brothers came in.
I mean, it's all over the valley.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to. Doesn't matter whether you're a 5-person office, right, or a 400-person office.
Yep.
You can participate. Just having that team captain is really the key to getting someone involved to come out to those captains meetings, because we talk about the day of event a lot, which is by far one of the most fun aspects, but we fundraise all the way up into that point. So January, February, March, we have those captains meetings that you typically put on that gets information out to everybody. So that's a good first start, right, is get to that first captains meeting in January. I think you even had just kind of like a preliminary one recently,
that's
right?
a good point. We just had our first preliminary captains kickoff meeting this last Wednesday at the VIG in McCormick Ranch. So thank you to the VIG for hosting us. And we're actually going to be hosting the next captains meeting on January 23rd at the VIG as well. So if you want to learn more, if you just have questions, or you just want to come check it out and see who's all involved, I definitely encourage you to come out to the January 23rd meeting. Again, that's at the VIG in McCormick Ranch at 5 o'clock. And we can answer any questions that you guys have about the event.
And it's great because you get people out there 20 years old. Well, I think maybe you have to be 21, right?
Yeah.
Because there is alcohol out there, live music. We've had bands out there, and the day of is so much fun. And you have people that are 21 up to 50s, 60s sometimes, and they'll come out and you see the competitive spirit come out of someone. It's pretty it's really cool to see, but it's also kind of entertaining because people are like, oh, you know what? I'm out here for charity. It's a good cause, and it totally is. It's what gets us out there.
Yep.
But then when you see the dodgeball game at the end, you see people just yelling at each other. He stepped on the line. Oh, he didn't catch the ball, and it's actually a lot of fun because, I mean, people get to know each other a little bit more in just kind of a very casual setting, a really cool venue. It's all for good cause. And there's, over 30 residential companies out there. There's over 40 commercial companies out there from last year. You have lenders and title and multiple lenders, multiple title companies. It's just a chance to get to know people in the industry doing stuff that's active like this. But then also just, a lot of these people are working hard too. They have their families, but it's just like kind of a cool thing to see everybody come together and network at the same time too. So
I don't know of another industry-related event where this many different brokerages and vendors kind of get together for one cohesive.
It's a good point. In the state of Arizona, I haven't seen something quite like it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really cool seeing it grow year over year and everyone taking ownership and seeing these different companies that have helped grow this event. It's not just our organization. All these outside companies take ownership of obviously the fundraising, but just getting people out there, building awareness. I mean, it's really all for a good cause, and it benefits everyone involved, and it benefits all the charities that we donate to. It's a lot of fun.
One thing that we didn't mention is actually all of the teams also get their own individual fundraising website. So the teams get a website, and also the individuals on the teams get a website as well. So you'll be able to share that website onto your social media platforms and any other areas that you would like to share that as well to help with your fundraising. Thank you guys so much for coming out and kind of sharing stuff about ABC, Agents Benefiting Children. I think that's all for today. Another episode in Rambling in Real Estate. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Ben.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Braydon.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you got it.